She is out. So I'm also going to treat this new belt with this belt conditioner. We are ready to strap everything in. Once we have the fan shroud out of the way, we can really easily get to our serpentine belt. So you use the 3/8 inch drive, just your regular wrench here, and take your tensioner pulley down, which relaxes the tension, and then you just remove your belt. Remember the order, how everything went in, and just remove the rest of the belt. Okay, the belt is removed now. So we're looking to see if there's any cracks, and it really doesn't look too bad. Just to see if there's any cracking at all. But it looks pretty good. Compare that to the new one. So here's the new belt by Continental. So this one will fit your VQ40DE engine in the Pathfinder and Frontier and Xterra of early 2000s and mid to late 2000s also. Okay, here's the new belt. We're going to compare it to the old one. They are the same width. Oh yes, the old belt is really worn compared to the new one here. So need to replace it. So I'm also going to treat this new belt with this belt conditioner. It's supposed to extend the belt life, keep the rubber more supple. So we'll give that a try. And the directions basically say you need to put it about every 3,000 miles. Apply that to the belt. Applying to clean dry surface, free from wax and grease. Always use at room temperature. Hold can upright position 8 to 10 inches away from the belt surface. Apply sparingly, do not use more than a belt can absorb. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably just spray it onto a shop towel and then rub that onto the belt to see what happens with that. So wish me luck. And here's the diagram for the correct belt installation. So we continue routing our belt. Okay, I have now installed the new belt. That's been treated with belt dressing, so hopefully the rubber remains good and supple, and I'll remember to treat it in the next 3,000 miles, or I'll probably make it every oil change if possible. Okay, the next magical trick, we're going to transfer the brackets, these mounting brackets, from the original radiator onto the new one. So to transfer the brackets, to remove the brackets, you want to use a 12mm and remove these. The bracket comes right off, and then you look at the top here, that just slides right off. The bracket doesn't look too bad, it's not terribly corroded, so I'm going to clean it up and transfer that over onto the new radiator piece. And here's the other side. Remove the bolt. And the bracket comes right off. So then it may be a good idea to replace these bushings. This is the lower bushing, and then also the upper one right up here. Mine are not too bad, but I purchased some new ones, so I will go ahead and replace them. All right, so these bushings are pretty easy to replace. The old one, you grab a screwdriver and just kind of pry that, and then that loosens it up. Okay, so that was the original one. Doesn't look too bad. It's not as pliable as it used to be, but you can see it's still compressible. It's not like a hard plastic. This is the new one. Quite a bit more compressible. So, but would I say, you know, is it worth it? They're about $5 at the Nissan. So I would say probably not worth the money unless the ones that you have are completely trashed. So I wouldn't worry about ordering them until, unless you look at them and they look terrible. In case if you need that, here's the part number for the bushing. And that's what the new bushing looks like installed. So it keeps the radiator from jiggling, I suppose, once the bracket is installed. Now, in addition to these big bushings, you could also replace 4 of these. So these bushings, you can see these are pretty dry rotted here. They are mounting, this is like the radiator support. I just replaced that right here. And you also have them on top of these. So you can replace these bushings as well. So they're about $4 each. And this is the Nissan part number. Okay, the moment of truth. We are installing the new radiator now. Once we have this hanging on the brackets, I'm going to release some of these anchoring straps for the AC condenser. Now we need to set the condenser inside of the radiator, the lower radiator mount, into the appropriate holes. Your AC condenser has bushings on the bottom too. Okay, so now 2 of them are 1, and now we're going to move the mount back to where it needs to sit. Good stuff. We are ready to strap everything in. All right, these first 2, we're going to put some anti-seize on them. And if you have a ratcheting 10mm wrench, that's even better. Or if you're British or Australian, you'd say spanner. If you got a spanner, a ratcheting spanner, it would be brilliant, mate. Insert the meme 1,000 years later. Probably a good idea to put the new radiator cap on to avoid any debris falling inside. Parts here. And here, remember, these are new bushings. So they hold the radiator nice and snug. All right, now the big one. You need to put radiator shroud back into place. Gonna connect the electrical connector here. Now's the time to install the lower radiator fan shroud and connect the lower radiator hose. And we're going to be ready to add the coolant, the new coolant, into the system. Now we just need to reinstall our battery tray and of course the battery. Good time to clean your throttle body too when you're doing this. Get that connected, make sure you get a nice satisfying click. Okay, let's fill this baby up. You can use a large funnel, one of those really cool no spill ones. I'm just using the Walmart special, the $1.88 radiator funnel, and my anti-spill device here. Good till the last drop, just like Maxwell House. So here's an interesting experiment. My old coolant was the Xerox or Valvoline blue, okay? And when I check the old coolant, believe it or not, it looks like all of the balls are floating, which means the vehicle is protected to minus 40 degrees, according to this thing, right? So then I got this brand new bottle by SuperTech, and when I check the brand new stuff, okay, I only have 3 balls floating. Well, the 4th one is kind of in the middle. So this stuff seems to be a bit weaker than my old Xerox stuff. Okay, we've got the radiator filled up. This is the next day, by the way. So that's filled up. I put in about 1.5 gallons in the system. And then we've got our coolant reservoir. Anyway, I'll show you. So we're up to the maximum point here. Let's start her up and see how she runs. Probably leave either the radiator cap off or actually suspension tank off like that. Alright guys, let's get her started. Got my fan on, maximum heat. Okay, VDC is off, probably because I had the battery disconnected. I'm just gonna back it out of the garage. The nose kind of hanging up so you can see the incline that we're on right now. Gonna let it idle. See, the car's been sitting on an incline. About 10 minutes idling. Looks like we are good to go.